Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming your way. Before we begin, we'd like to take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and stay up to date on all the news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which greatly strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the most passionate fans of the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news.
The arrival of David Blau as the new offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders will likely bring significant changes, not only from a tactical standpoint, but also in relation to the player roster. Blau is expected to implement a more creative and explosive tactical scheme in a professional style. General Manager Adam Peters needs to do his part, finding the right players capable of putting these grand plans into practice. But the rookie coach wasted no time in revealing where he would like to strengthen the team. David Blau wants reinforcements for the Commanders' running back position, which could be a problem for Chris Rodriguez Jr. During his introductory press conference, Blau expressed confidence in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, a seventh-round draft pick, as a potentially starting option in his offense. However, he made it clear that reinforcements will come at some point this offseason to increase the team's competitiveness. What Blau didn't say was undoubtedly even more revealing. There was no mention of Chris Rodriguez Jr. during his evaluation. The player, selected in the 6th round of the 2023 draft, shone once again when drafted last season. And once again, he arrives in the spring as an exclusive free agent. If the Commanders want to keep him on the roster, the process for Peters is relatively simple. All Washington needs to do is offer him an exclusive contract, which will prevent Rodriguez from negotiating with other teams. This seems likely, but Blau's comments cast further doubt on the situation. Rodriguez is a solid player. He may never become a world-class player, but he can gain a lot of yards between tackles and is very difficult to stop once the team gains momentum early on. At the same time, the Commanders shouldn't get complacent, and Blau may want a more complete option to play alongside Krosky-Merritt in the backfield. It's not time to stand still. Drastic measures need to be taken. If Blau believes he can use a better running back, Rodriguez may not be around for much longer. That would be cruel, but it's a cold, hard business.
The idea of a trade between the daring Commanders and Steelers no longer fits Adam Peters' timeline. Since taking over as general manager, Adam Peters hasn't hesitated to make trades. The Washington Commanders may want to adopt a different approach this offseason, especially after a campaign with only 5 wins in 2025. At the same time, nothing should be completely ruled out at this stage. Nobody expected the Commanders to acquire wide receiver Deebo Samuel Sr. for a 5th-round pick. Nobody expected Washington to get 5-time Pro Bowl left tackle Laremy Tunsil from the Houston Texans. If Peters believes there's a play that can help the franchise get back on track, he won't hesitate to act with conviction. The Commanders need to become younger and more explosive, especially on defense. But if new coordinator Durante Jones wants to start on the right foot, Washington needs to find a productive pass rusher with a proven track record sometime this offseason. The idea of trading T.J. Watt, suggested by an NFL analyst, doesn't fit the Commanders' current situation. Sporting News' Jarrett Bailey believes that calling the Pittsburgh Steelers about T.J. Watt might be exactly what coach Dan Quinn is looking for. There are concerns, and it's a considerable investment, but the projected 2nd-round pick to acquire the 4-time All-Pro could be a risk worth taking. Washington could be looking to add a proven star to the defense this season, and that should be at the top of their priority list. If they were looking for a standout pass rusher in the trade market, the Pittsburgh Steelers could be a name to keep an eye on, T.J. Watt. Washington doesn't have a second-round pick in 2026, so perhaps a second-round pick in 2027 could entice the Steelers, as next year's class should be stronger. Watt has been one of the most prolific pass rushers of the modern era, accumulating 115 sacks in 9 years. Last season was his worst since the 2022 campaign, marked with injuries, a sign that his performance may be starting to decline. He will also turn 32 in October, representing yet another gamble on a declining veteran just when most fans yearn for a change in approach. The Steelers are also unlikely to sell players. This trade proposal would give Quinn and Jones what they need, but for how long? Pittsburgh also doesn't plan to rebuild the team after the end of Mike Tomlin's prolific run as head coach, as evidenced by the team's decision to hire Mike McCarthy.
Adam Peters could outmaneuver Howie Roseman with a $52 million free agent signing. Everyone at the Washington Commanders seems to agree on the most pressing offseason need to get the franchise back into title contention. General Manager Adam Peters needs to solve the problem of quarterback pressure, and he needs to do it urgently. Last year, Peters was criticized by fans for not prioritizing the defense. He relied on available options while signing experienced veterans to one-year contracts. The gamble proved to be a mistake, and the Commanders were largely unable to consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks throughout the season. This is a mistake Peters cannot afford to make again. Fortunately, he has retained future financial flexibility and will have around $100 million to use in free agency. Much will depend on who is available on the market, but one NFL analyst believes an improvement could come from one of Washington's division rivals. The Commanders could strike a blow at the Eagles by signing Jaelan Phillips as a free agent. Dugos Fritz of Clutch Points has pointed to Jaelan Phillips as someone who could bring the necessary boost to Washington's defense. Although his sack numbers haven't impressed since his trade to the Philadelphia Eagles before the 2025 deadline, his flashes of talent indicate that he could have a prominent role on another team. There's a clear reason to pursue Jaelan Phillips. He fills a huge need for the Commanders. They should sign him and still select an edge rusher with the 7th pick in the draft. Phillips' 77.1 quarterback pressure rating was the second highest of his career. His quarterback pressure success rate placed him among the top 20 in the NFL among qualified edge rushers. There's still a lot to like about Phillips, a former first-round pick who is only 26 years old. Phillips is a proven, effective player. He's dealt with some injury issues throughout his career, but the 2021 first-round pick is athletic, aggressive, and can easily get around the block. His ability to pressure the quarterback is solid, and his field positioning makes him impactful against the run. Signing Phillips, who is still 26 years old, won't be cheap. SpotTrack projects that the Miami-trained player will receive $17.33 million per season on a 3-year, $52.01 million contract. The Eagles have $20.55 million available in salary cap space, so they could extend his contract. Otherwise, the Commanders have more than enough money to absorb that kind of financial commitment. Signing Phillips to the edge rusher position, or any other option available in free agency for that matter, won't solve all of Washington's quarterback pressure problems.